morning and welcome to another episode of Pep's Corner. Today we will continue reading our book, The West End Game. Our week and chapter have been posted on the screen. We're in week 16, day number 2. We are reading chapter 22. So make sure you have your book in hand and are actively following along and reading. Remember, boys and girls, to reread a second time. So you are coming to shared reading, fully prepared to engage in instruction. Let's begin. Chapter 22, Losers, Winners. Saturday morning, a new message was posted in the elevator. I, Turtle Wexler, confessed to those 4 bombs. I'm sorry, it was a dumb thing to do, and I don't want to do it again. But I am not the burglar, and I never murdered anyone, ever. Your friend Turtle. P.S. To make up for scaring you, I will treat everybody here to an exquisite Chinese cuisine dinner when I win the inheritance. Poor Grace, Mr. Hu said. One daughter almost killed. The other one a bomber. Smart aleck kid. First she blows up my kitchen, then she advertises my cuisine. Win the inheritance. Ha! Maybe I'm lucky my son is a dumb jock. Boom! Madam Hu said happily. She knew where they were going. Always on the day when Doug ate 6 eggs for breakfast, he ran around and around a big track and people clapped and gave him a shiny medal. Doug was so proud of his medals, she would never take them. Not even the gold one. Not even if it took her 2 more years to pay to go back to China. No, she would never take Doug's medals. And she would never sell that wonderful clock with the mouse who wears gloves and points to the time. You must be out of your mind, Jake Wexler. Go to the track? Me? With all those people pointing at me, snickering, saying, look, there she is, the mother of Cain and Abel. I'm not even sure I have the nerve to show my face at the Westinghouse tonight. Come on, Grace, it'll do you good. The podiatrist urged his reluctant wife down the 3rd floor hall. Stop thinking about yourself for a change. Think how your poor turtle feels. Must feel. Even don't ever mention that child to me again. Not after what she did to Angela. I never told you this, Jake, but I've always had a sinking sensation that hospital mixed up babies when Turtle was born. It's no wonder she wanted to blow us all up. Grace's despair exploded in anger. Oh, I get it. You're putting the blame on me. If you had given her a good talking to about kicking people when I asked, she might not have ended up a common criminal. Whatever became of that fun-loving woman I married. What was her name again? Grace Wincopple? Grace quickly looked around to see if anyone had overheard that ugly name. But they were in the elevator alone. Oh, I know what people think, she complained. Poor Jake Wexler, good guy, everybody's friend, married to that uppity would-be decorator. Well, Angela's not going to have to scrimp and to save to make ends meet. She's going to marry a real doctor. I'll see to that. Sure you will, Grace. You'll see that Angela doesn't marry a loser like her father. A real doctor, she says. A podiatrist is a real doctor. Well, it is these days, but when we went to school, it was different. He could have gone back, then taken more courses, but he was married by then. A father. Oh, who's he kidding? Gracie's right. He's a loser. Next, she'll mention having to give up her family because she married a Jew. No one ever brings that up. Grace, with all her faults, would never do that. The elevator door opened to the lobby. Grace turned to her silent, sad-eyed husband, the loser. Oh, Jake, what's happening to us? What's happening to me? Maybe they're right. Maybe I am not a nice person. Jake pressed the closed door button and took his sobbing wife into his arms. It's all right, Gracie. We're going home. The doors opened to the 2nd floor. Mom, what's the matter with her? Daddy, she's crying. Gee, Mom, I'm sorry. It was just a few fireworks. If her mother ever found out who the real bomber was, she'd really go to pieces. Turtle looked even more like a turtle today, with her sad little face peering out of the kerchief tied under her small chin. Let go of the door, Turtle, Jake said, and have a good time at the track meet. You too, Mrs. Bombach. Track meet? They weren't going to the track meet, and they were sure not going to have a good time. Grace was still sobbing on Jake's shoulder as he led her into their apartment. Mother, what's the matter? What's wrong with her, Dad? Nothing, Angela. Your mother's just having a good cry. Why don't you and Mrs. Pulaski leave us alone for a while? Come, Angela, Sadell said, prodding her with the tip of one of her mismatched crutches. We have some painting to do. Angela looked back at the embracing couple. Her father's face was buried in her weeping mother's tousled hair. They had not asked how she got home from the hospital by taxi. They had not asked if she was still in pain, not much. They had not even peeked under the bandage to see if a scar was forming on her cheek. There was. Angela was on her own. Well, that's what she wanted, wasn't it? Yes, it was. She uttered a short laugh, and her hand flew up to the pain in her face. Do I look funny or something? No, I wasn't laughing at you, Sadell. I never laugh at you. It's just that suddenly everything seemed all right. It's all right? All right, her partner replied, unlocking the 4 locks on her apartment door. Tonight's the night we're going to win it all. Were they? The will said look for a name. They had a song, not a name. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, Sadell began to sing, for purple waves of green. Not purple, Angela corrected her. Amber. For amber waves of green. Amber. Judge Ford paced the floor. Tonight, Sam Westing would wreak his revenge unless she could prevent it. If she was right, the person in danger was the former Mrs. Westing. And if Turtle was right about the wax dummy, Sam Westing himself might be there to watch the fun. There was a knock on the door. The judge was surprised to see Denton Deer, even more surprised when he wheeled Chris Theodorakis into her apartment. Hello, Judge. Everybody else in the building is going to the track meet, it seems. I passed Sandy on the way out, and he said that you wouldn't mind having Chris for part of the afternoon. I've got to get back to the hospital. Hello, Judge Ford. Chris held out a steady hand, which the judge shook. You're looking well, Chris. The medicine helped a lot. It's a big step forward, the intern said. Wrong word. The kid may never leave that wheelchair. And even more effective medication is now in the developmental stage. That really sounded pompous. Well, so long, Chris. See you tonight. Thanks, Judge. He knows lots of big words, Chris said. Yes, he certainly does, Judge Ford replied. What was she going to do with this boy here? She had so much to think about, so much to plan. You can work? I'll birdwatch, Chris offered, wheeling to the window, the binoculars banging against his thin chest. Good idea. The judge returned to her desk to study the newspaper clippings. Mrs. Westing, a tall, thin woman. She may no longer be thin, but she would still be tall. About 60 years old. If Sam Westing's former wife was one of the heirs, she had to be Crow. Look, Chris shouted, startling the judge into dropping her files on the floor. She rushed to his side, thinking he needed help. Look up there, Judge. Isn't it beautiful? High in the fall sky, a V of geese was flying south. Yes, it was a beautiful sight. Those are geese, the judge explained. Canada goose, Chris replied. The judge was impressed, but she had work to do. Stooping to gather up the dropped clippings, she was confronted by the face of Sam Westing. The photograph had been taken 15 years ago. Those piercing eyes, the violet beard, that short beaked nose like Turtle's. The wax dummy in the coffin had been molded in the former image of Sam Westing, as he had looked 15 years ago, not as he looked now. She searched the folder. No recent photographs, no hospital records, no death certificate. Just the accident report from the State Highway Police. Dr. Sidney Sykes suffered a crushed leg and Samuel Westing had severe facial injuries. Facial injuries. It was the face that disappeared 15 years ago, not the man. Westing had a different face, a face remolded by plastic surgery, a different face and a different name. Now what? Her gaze rested on her charge at the window. Feeling her eyes, Chris turned around. The boy has a nice smile. I hope you are better at filling cavities than making false teeth, Turtle said, gripping the arms of the dentist chair and a glass cabinet against the wall. 3 rows of dentures grinned at her with crooked teeth, overlapping teeth, notched teeth. Those faults are what makes the dentures look real. The dentist explained, nothing in nature is quite perfect, you know. Now open your mouth wide, wider. Ow! Turtle screamed before the probe touched her tooth. Just relax, young lady. I'll tell you when to say ow. Turtle tried to think about other things. False teeth, bucket teeth, that rotten bucktooth Barney Northup stopped by this morning to tell the Wexlers they have to pay for all of the damage done by the bombs. Barney Northup had called her parents irresponsible and had called her something worse, much worse. He sure was surprised by that kick. It was her hardest one ever. Now you can say ow. The dentist unclipped the towel from her shoulder. Turtle passed her tongue over the drilled tooth. She had not felt a thing, but the real pain was yet to come. Flora Bomback was taking her to the beauty parlor to have her hair cut off. College teams from 5 states competed in the indoor track meet this season. But the big event, the mile run, was won by a high school senior. That's my boy! That's my dog! Mr. Who shouted. One voice among thousands cheering the youngster on in a victory lap. Cameras flashed and Doug posed, smiling broadly, index fingers high in the air. I owe it all to my dad, he told reporters, and the cameras flashed again as Doug flung an arm around the proud Mr. Who. Just wait until the next Olympics. The inventor thought.